I know people have heard this advice before when you're super young in your career. You want to talk to old people, they're going to be like, anytime someone offers you some extra work, say yes, take it on, take it on, take it on. And that is good and all. But you do have to, I hope people understand that like it's a lot easier than it sounds, right? Because you're going to say yes to all these things. You're going to get looped into all these additional meetings, all these extra blocks in your calendar. Now you have so many more things that you're juggling, trying to deliver on, trying to provide status updates on, and coordinate across a ton of different teams and a ton of different stakeholders. It makes your day to day a lot more complex, and it adds a lot more nuance that you have to consider that you weren't thinking about before.
You got to manage expectations.
You do have to manage expectations, and I
yeah,
think
it's not saying no every time. It's just saying like
Mhm.
I can, but I'll have to reprioritize.
Exactly, and it's knowing what how much bandwidth you have as an individual contributor, and knowing how to rebalance, like you said, rebalance those priorities to make sure that you're still delivering on the things you said you would deliver on at the beginning of the year. Because one thing that you don't want to do is you don't want to get into these, you don't want to get into these companies, into these areas, and say, hey, align with your manager on these expectations for, let's say, the fiscal year, for the fiscal quarter, or whatever. And let's say you're doing that, and then someone comes along like, hey, I need your help. You're a smart young person. You're a smart young man, young lady. I need your help with this. Hey, I got you. You know what? Boom, boom, boom. You're delivering that. You're doing good work. Someone else grabs you. Hey, I need your help with this. Hey, I need your help with this. You're saying yes and yes and yes to everybody. You become so busy with all these additional projects that you signed up on. You forgot what you aligned with your manager on with in the first place. And at the end of the day, what you get, this may not be the same at every company, but I know at our company, right? You are evaluated based on what you've said and wrote, put down in writing at the beginning of the year, at the beginning of the season of evaluation periods that you said you were going to deliver on. That's what's evaluated. It's not the new things that you picked up, because nobody told you to do that, right? Like, yeah, we get it. You're a go getter. And sometimes you may actually have a really good manager who's super flexible and understands your situation and circumstance, and like, hey, you know what? I am going to reward you for taking on these new things. But it's a difference between taking on new projects and new things and completely neglecting your original priorities. That is where it becomes a problem, right? So it's like, if you have the bandwidth and you have the flexibility and the coordination to be able to balance your original priorities plus these new things, hey, go after it. If anything, you're probably going to fast track your next promotion. You're probably going to fast track the next level that you go to, right? But when you start losing track of those things, that's when it becomes a problem. That's when it affects your performance, and that's when it makes you look bad for taking on new things. So it's not saying don't be a go-getter. It's not saying don't be hungry. It's not saying don't take that next step. It's saying be smart, be intentional about how you take on new assignments, how you prioritize, and how well. Like, it also depends on you and your boss's, your manager relationship. How well is that going to go with your boss? Right? What are they going to think about it? Are they going to be on board with it? Like, you know, these are things that I think that you have to consider that aren't, always thoroughly explained, because it's easier to say yes to everything than actually give the explanation I just gave for the last 3 minutes. Right. So um that's just another one of those, I think, things that are just kind of hidden behind doors in spaces like big tech or, anywhere else.